Good evening. Welcome to government corruption, top to bottom. So don't be surprised if you somewhere in between. Hey, it's me again, Jesha Miller. In the previous show, I told you that the entire judicial branch of government was corrupt. That included former FBI Director Robert Mueller III and United States Attorney General Eric Holder. They don't reach these pinnacles and say, I quit. They both resign. They were replaced by Loretta Lynch, the new United States Attorney General, and the new FBI Director, James Comey. They both took oath to office. I swear to God. To uphold the Constitution. Now we got this thing in the hood. Talking out the side of your neck. Now, you can say like most politicians, they make you a bunch of promises that you ain't gonna get nothing of. So you test them. They say what you want to say, but it's your actions that tell the truth. United States Attorney General Loretta Lynch is the chief enforcer of the federal laws. And James Comey, he the FBI. Yeah. He arrests corrupt officials, so they say. Here, I use my First Amendment right to redress government. That means correct what they did wrong. Now, first, pay my $50 million owed for default on the 14th Amendment right to due process. The 14th Amendment to the Constitution are in the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights, what you use against government, because those are the rights that government must protect. Now the Bill of Rights, what no just government on earth can refuse or rest on interference and delay, meaning cost you in power, you cannot delay or disregard. Next, enforce the rule of law. Title 18, Section 243 is the exclusion of jurors on account of race. This violates the Equal Protection Clause. Title 18, 243 got two prongs. You know them prongs? You take the steak, stick it in the steak and take it up off the grill. Got two prongs. First prong, to make explicit what was inexplicit in the 14th Amendment, you cannot exclude jurors on account of race. And second, Congress made it a crime to keep judges from doing it. Now the crime has been committed whether he was black or he was white or whether he was acquitted or convicted. A crime has been committed. Now, they had to inform the American public the entire judicial branch of government is corrupt. This is a public concern, and the people must know. They put these people in a position of authority, which the people conferred upon them, and they have abused their power. They ain't paid me the $50 million, they ain't arrested nobody, and they ain't informed the American public. That's what I'm doing right now. Now think, the Justice Department is part of the judicial branch of government. They not arresting their own. They just us. That's why they say it ain't justice, it's just us that they're arresting. Now here we go. Now if you part of their gang, you can rape, pillage, and rob, and kill without being held accountable. Now, I filed this petition. Processing of the petition takes from 60 to 90 days. It was emailed to Loretta Lynch May the 28th, arrived by postal June the 1st, more than 4 months ago. That's 120 days, supposed to take 90. So they refused to process in a timely manner. Rights violated under the Bill of Rights. So they automatically lose now, which no just government can delay. Now, the FBI got this Office of Integrity and Compliance. Chief is Patrick W. Kelly. Now this guy at the plate, he can hit a fastball out of the park. So you throw him a curveball. I don't want to know about nothing, so I don't have to do nothing. You call this number 4 or 5 times, and all you get is the answering machine and no calls back. But before that, I sent it to the website, and he got it by the email. Now, the Inspector General, I emailed him through the website too. Your duty was to report to the Attorney General Loretta Lynch. Tell her that the Deputy Attorney General Vanetta Gupta's office is not in compliance with the time period in which to process a petition, and to report to Congress that the Constitution's checks and balances have been petitioned to check the judicial branch of government for corruption. So it must be checked, as it is supported by irrefutable evidence of corruption, dereliction of duty, abuse of power, and an act against the law imposing slavery. This all in the United States Supreme Court. For real? Check this. It don't get no bigger. Unprecedented. Never before evidence of corruption in the United States Supreme Court. Abuse of power to deny the right to freedom, and an act against the law imposing slavery. Judicial branch government, you can find this online. You write down judicialbranchcorrupt.blogspot.com, and you can see the actual documents. Abuse of power, Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution. The habeas corpus is a power denied government. So when they do this, that's abuse of power. This is used when you held in violation of the Constitution and the laws of the United States. Before we ratified the Constitution, the people had to have a way to assure their right to freedom. That's why this is a power denied government. The United States Supreme Court abused that power to impose slavery and continue the illegal imprisonment. They got on federal news, radio, Facebooks, that 2 members of the House Oversight and Government Reform National Subcommittee want President Obama to conceal personal emails. Now, Jason Chaffetz is the chairman. Their mission, solemn duty, is to hold government accountable and inform the American public. Now, the chairman, Jason Chaffetz, was petitioned to hold government accountable and inform the American public. He ain't protected no rights, and he ain't informed the American people. Now, of this corruption in the United States, they not saying nothing about that. This ain't private, this is public. That you want President Obama to conceal the failure of you and your duty to expose corruption to the American public. How do we get to all this corruption? They say hate is teached. Well, corruption is taught also. As a veteran of the Vietnam era, I served to protect the right to freedom for all Americans. I asked to be booked as a lecturer at the top law schools: Yale, Harvard, Stanford, University of Chicago, Duke, Penn State, and nobody hired me. To educate, you have to have people of real experiences to influence and motivate to run a government with morals and integrity. So look what you get by not hiring me. You got a judicial branch that's corrupt in the United States Supreme Court that you concealing from the students. The mentality is hook or crook by any means necessary. To get a win by any means necessary. But you teaching law, so what does the public get from past, present, and future judges and lawyers? We got Paulette Brown, the first African American to be the president of the American Bar Association. Their mission is to hold government accountable under the law, human rights, fair legal process, assure meaningful access to justice for all persons, and increase public understanding and respect for the law and the legal process. I petitioned her to call a press conference to inform the American public that the entire judicial branch of government is corrupt, and that Jesha Miller had petitioned the checks and balances to uphold the integrity of the Constitution and the laws of the United States. Y'all ain't heard nothing from her. Sit there and talk about, but this fair and legal process. Well, I just said the 14th Amendment right to due process been violated, but they ain't told the public. And they want to increase the understanding and respect for the law and the legal process, and this is what they do? Wait a minute. Okay. So, I got jokes for you. Them white people ain't made her president or nothing if she ain't stepping and fetching. So I said, okay. You know, everybody got somebody to answer to. To get this okayed by the board of directors, I guess the answer was no. I told her not to be a token, not to be an Uncle Tom. And what happened? A woman in a man's shoes that can't man up. Now, I know the professional women are saying, I'm getting a little beside myself about now. So listen to this. Benjamin Crump, a black man, is the president of the National Bar Association, a prominent lawyer. Had the Trayvon Martin case and the Michael Brown cases from correct, and he too was petitioned to inform the American public that the United States Supreme Court was corrupt, compelled by their mission to uphold the honor and integrity of the legal profession, to promote legislation that will improve the economic condition of all Americans. But I guess that only include paying my $50 million. Get the money to the house. Okay. But the mission says, regardless of race, sex, or creed, in their efforts to secure a free and untrammeled use of the franchise guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States, and to protect civil and political rights of the citizens and the residents of the United States. Just like Paulette Brown, he ain't said nothing. Then the second time, now, see, if the black people didn't get it the first time, then the second time, then they're waiting for him to strike out. Because he done sold out. Sold out the mission, the legal profession, and the Constitution of the United States. Now, you see what the deans of law and presidents of these institutions didn't want me informing the students of, it's the truth. Nobody before had the evidence to prove corruption in the United States Supreme Court, because we all knew that the justice branch was corrupt. Got to be something to me. The first citizen to petition the Constitution's checks and balances to uphold the integrity of the Constitution. It's something to that. I served in the United States Air Force to protect the rights to freedom for all Americans. It's got to be something to me. In the midst of corruption, robbery, thieving, and murder, not even the President Barack Hussein Obama, not even Attorney General Loretta Lynch, not even the FBI Director James Comey, not even the President of the American Bar Association Paulette Brown, not even the President of the National Bar Association Benjamin Crump would tell the American public that the United States Supreme Court itself is corrupt. Not even Yale, not even Harvard, not Stanford, Penn State, the University of Chicago, or any of the top 10 institutions wanted it to be known. With corruption in the United States Supreme Court, the appellate system no longer works. This takes priority over all matters. What? I can upstage the presidential election. Because first and foremost, we got to have a government with no corruption, securing the rights, the Bill of Rights, which just government must protect, in place. And right now, it's all corrupt. Now, when you stand and speak the truth and the rest or scared to speak, he's a hero. When you uphold the integrity while they concealing corruption, when the fight is for freedom and humanity, that's the work of the Lord. When you doing what is right and those put in a position of authority are doing wrong, the end result is a corrupt government. Not one of them was going to tell you this. It had to be me. One of them wasn't going to tell you this. Now, to do this, when I spoke on Patrick Kelly of the Office of Integrity and Compliance, that is doing the right things the right way. With national security at the forefront of our mission, it says, FBI employees are now more than ever under tremendous pressure to maximize the intelligence derived from investigations. Such pressure, however, can never be an excuse to take shortcuts that can compromise our institutional integrity. The FBI's business demands strict adherence to both the letter and the spirit of all applicable laws, regulations, and policies. Each employee has the responsibility to uphold the FBI's core values and integrity and accountability so that the Bureau maintains the public trust. Now wait a minute. When you got the FBI director and he won't tell you that there's corruption in the United States, how much trust is the public supposed to have? Wait a minute. You got the chief enforcer of the federal laws, Loretta Lynch, and she ain't told you. Where is the public trust supposed to come from? Now, I know I'm on YouTube, right? But you tell me, with corruption in the United States Supreme Court, I'm supposed to be on CNN, ABC, CBS, and every news network all across the country. The First Amendment requires that this be of general discussion because it's a public concern. And it states that the media cannot censor this and government not supposed to stop this from happening. But then you got the media violate my First Amendment right when I execute my First Amendment right. And such as the Associated Press, oh, you can go to that blog too, AP Call to Expose Corruption.blogspot.com. The easiest way is just to Google me, Jesha Miller, Jesha Miller. Google that. Then go to my blogs, and you will see my resume of the Seek Justice in America. And you know, I know a lot of times you might say, well, they just violate black people's rights or whatever. But when they looked into this and sent it to the Civil Division, that's why it went to Vanita Gupta, the Deputy Attorney General's office for civil rights. This is bigger than civil rights. This is corruption in the entire judicial branch of government. This is corruption, abuse of power, imposing slavery by the United States Supreme Court, the very court that's supposed to protect our rights. You see, that's why they had the checks and balances. But again, I'm telling y'all, just like they want President Obama to conceal this. The president knew. Go to Jesha Miller demands President Obama tell the public that the entire that the Supreme Court is corrupt. That's also on YouTube. And he ain't told y'all nothing. You see what I'm saying? So you go to judicialbranchcorrupt.blogspot.com and the material evidence is right there that the United States Supreme Court abused their power of the habeas corpus. Now, the motive is always money and power. That's the $50 million and the crime committed by Judge David KELLEY, Title 18, Section 243, which is the exclusion of jurors on account of race. Now, all of this evidence is on blog. They've been petitioned, and now they got to be checked. But what they doing, they ain't processing. You look at that and see that the man got evidence of corruption. So hold up on that. Wait a minute. He don't want to let the cat out of the bag. How, when the very ones that's supposed to took an oath, put up the wrong hand for a reason, because they was lying about it, and they not doing that. So, once again, America, it's me again, and government, and it's time to pay that money, and you got to own up to facing the Constitution checks and balances. All of America supposed to hear this. Just like they did when Tricky Dick did his thing. This is the real Watergate. This ain't no fake deflate gate like they play in the NFL. This is the real deal. This is real humanity. This is real freedom being taken out of economic oppression. $50 million. Why you think they love Jay-Z, man? Beyonce. It's the money, man. How do you think Donald Trump is running for president? He got money. Now, pay my money. I'm facing eviction notices. Owe 2 months rent. Hey, check this out. Everybody got a phone in America. Walking and talking all over the place, abusing, got them at work, breaking out text messages, do this, that, and oh man, them phones is killing the game, you dig? I ain't had my phone since July 17th, but they said the 18th, but one day, well, I ain't had my phone since the middle of July. Now, I'm supposed to be a millionaire? Well, I'm supposed to have a house instead of renting, you dig? And I'm supposed to be driving Mercedes-Benz. It's good. I'll take that. But anyway, I just wanted to inform the American public and the government and the media for violating my rights. It's time to get it on. This is blackjack, baby. I got an ace and I got a 10. Yeah, they in space. But anyway, you got a 10 and a 7. Took a hit and you busted. Everybody busted. All branches of government is corrupt. But the judicial branch of government, that pertains to the people's right to freedom and justice. This ain't Walter Cronkite, but this is how it is in America, 2015, October the 9th. Hello and goodbye.